How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the channel, Tech with KG. Today, I want to talk about the difference between OLED, LCD, but not your typical what's the difference and break it down technically to you. But I want to talk about how close these two TV technologies actually are, and when we're talking about brands competing against each other, whether it's Sony, whether it's Samsung, whether it's LG, just how close it actually is. A few years back, it used to be the case where, yeah, maybe an OLED will have better picture quality. And you looked at an OLED versus an LCD a few years back, there is a lot less cases to be made for LCD TVs. But now, with the way that processing has gotten better, with the way that they've gotten better with their backlight technology, with the dimming zones being better, with the algorithms being better, LCD has definitely caught up quite a bit from where it used to be. And so I've seen this firsthand year after year, not only from when I worked at Best Buy looking at TVs all the time, but like when I was buying TVs back then as well. It's something that I noticed when I saw OLED for the very first time. I knew that that was the TV to beat. And now when I look at OLED and then I look at some of the LCDs on the market, it's a lot closer and it feels a lot closer. You'll hear the word use case thrown around a lot with TV channels, and rightfully so. When it comes to buying a TV, that is definitely the most important thing. So if you're a gamer, you have that as one use case. If you watch a lot of movies, you have that as another use case. And so you have to just look at what you're using the TV for. Maybe you just watch nothing but cable TV. Maybe you just watch nothing but the news channels. That's your use case. And so you have to understand that. And the second thing you really have to understand is the environment that you're in. The environment is really just how much light is coming into your viewing situation. So if you're in a living room and you have big bright windows, and you can't block them out, then you are in a bright room. And most of the time, an OLED TV is probably not going to be the best for you. And so when you're talking about having a bright room versus a dark room, that is where the TV technologies kind of come into play of which one will suit you better. But even in a dark room, you can still make a strong case for an LCD TV. But in a bright room, you can't really do the same with OLED. So I do think that LCD TVs more versatile in that sense, but it's also not going to be able to match the standard of darkroom viewing that an OLED could provide for you. One big thing you also have to understand is what you're coming from with a TV is going to matter a lot too. So if you're somebody coming from a really bright Samsung TV and you go to an OLED, there's a chance, even if you're in a dark room, that OLED might let you down a little bit. You might think it's a little too dim. And so for those circumstances, it's kind of important to understand a lot of those things and to not set yourself up for disappointment. I've gotten a lot of comments saying somebody went to an OLED and they're disappointed by it because their last TV was a Samsung KS8000 or a QFN, one of those bright Samsung TVs, and then they go to an OLED TV and then suddenly they're disappointed. Now, I recently had an experience with the Superbowl where I watched it on a big 75-inch LCD TV from about 4 years ago. It was the Samsung Q8FN, and this TV was bright, it was beautiful, it displayed the Super Bowl in a fantastic way. And everybody watching all commented that the picture was incredible. And so that's one thing where we were in a bright room, all the blinds were open, and in this circumstance, the person running the house, they wouldn't want to shut the blinds. That's just the way they run their house. And so you're going to find yourself in those situations. The reason I want to say this is I go home and I watch the same game on my 2021 Sony OLED, which is a 77-inch TV, and I'm not nearly as impressed with the picture quality as I was with the Samsung at that house. And so I really do think what you're watching matters. So somebody who watches a lot of sports, going from a bright TV to a dimmer TV that might bother you a little bit. So those things are really something you want to keep in mind. And I'm not trying to push you towards OLED. I'm not trying to push you towards LCD. I'm just trying to push you towards a TV that's right for you. And that's only if you need to upgrade in the first place. But assuming you're watching this, you're probably looking to upgrade, or you're just not happy with your viewing situation. And hopefully I can help you with that. So if you guys have any comments or questions, feel free to ask me in the comment section below. I also have a membership program that you'll be able to get priority responses to if you ask me a question. I'll make sure that I get to your question right away. If you're not a member, I'll still get to your question. It just takes a little bit longer because I have been getting so many comments lately. It's been kind of overwhelming. The other way to reach me is going to be with my live stream. I pretty much answer everybody's question that I see. And so stop by, ask your questions there. Hopefully I can help you out. But I hope you guys understand that when it comes to superiority of OLED or superiority of LCD TV, I feel like there's a lot of myth there. I really do. I feel like the LCD TVs can be very great, and I feel like the OLED TVs can be very great. It just depends on your viewing situation. I've compared these two TV technologies as ice cream flavors before. Pretty much, you just gotta find the flavor that you like the most. You know, some people like vanilla, some people like chocolate, some people like mint. Maybe you like them all, and I like them all. Like, I like LCD and I like OLED. There's certain circumstances where I want to watch my OLED, and then there's certain circumstances where I'm like, this probably look better on LCD. Marvel Eternals, for example, I just watched that, and the daytime scenes on that Sony A80J for Eternals was a little underwhelming, and a lot of that movie is shot in the daytime. So while you did have really good specular highlights when it came to darker scenes, and it was really fantastic looking, high quality, high fidelity, just a great image from the OLED altogether, when it came to those big bright scenes, it was a letdown at times because you don't have the capability of displaying the picture like an LCD would. There's downsides to both technology, as I've talked about screen uniformity and how that is a big deal on LCD TVs. Now you can get screen uniformity on OLED as well, and I will demonstrate that in a future video because I have some screen uniformity issues on my A80J that I would love to point out to you guys that I'm going to try to fix live in the video. So that'll be something to look forward to in the future. But really, when it comes down to comparing these two technologies, it's a lot of back and forth of what's better. You know, there's going to be a lot of comparison videos, but at the end of the day, it's all about your use case, choosing the right TV for your room, and that's probably going to be what satisfies you the most at the end of the day. So those of you in a brighter room, maybe you prefer the LCD TVs, and the people that are in a darker room, maybe you prefer the OLEDs. But there's also a chance that you don't. It's not always cut and dry like that. There's definitely circumstances where you could get the TV you think is right, and you take it home and it's just not what you thought. And that happens, but as long as you know what you're buying the TV for, you know your use case, most of the time if you know what you're looking for, you're going to be satisfied as long as you don't have any technical issues, as long as you don't have any big screen uniformity issues. You'll probably end up keeping that TV. Ultimately, we got to see the end of this whole drama series that we've been running with OLED and LCD, and claiming one is more superior than the other for everybody. That's a myth. And that's all I was trying to kind of communicate to you guys with this video. I hope it was helpful. I hope this makes it a little bit easier to understand that there is no end all be all TV. There is no perfect TV. And there's just a good TV out there for you and your circumstance that you're in. Hopefully this video made sense to you. If you have any questions or need to ask me something, anything at all, just ask me in the comment section below. If you guys enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and consider subscribing for more videos in the future. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day, and I will see you in the next one.